Yep, 34 patterns, 10 years, and one big question. Are you sewing it or are you skipping it? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Rochelle, and today we're diving into the Mimi G case files. Now you guys know Mimi G has been a simplicity pattern designer for a whole decade, y'all. That's 10 years. And because this fall, I thought that it was the perfect time to go through 34 of her fall patterns from fall 2014 when she first started all the way to fall 2024. Now let's be honest and transparent. Some of these are given fall fashion gold, while some of them might just be guilty of being in my sewing stash collecting dust. But shh, we ain't gonna talk about that. So grab your tea, grab your notebook, because when it comes to Mimi G patterns, you are not the. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so I went through my stash because y'all know I cleaned out my garage, right? And while I was sitting there, I was just like, let me go through my Mimi G stash because a lot of these I have not sewn. And I've been making a list, a huge list of patterns that I want to sew coming up in the new year, because I'm sick of just having patterns that's just sitting here unsewn, and I've been having them for a long time, which is why I'm putting a lot of these on my list, and you guys will be seeing those by Black Friday of which ones that I'm going to be selling. So before you even ask me, Rochelle, when you're gonna have them up, I am working hard behind the scenes to literally sell a lot of patterns. Mimi G may be on that list. So if you see something that you want, it might be on the list. Just jot it down. It might not be on the list. I'm not telling you which ones will and will not be on the list. Just stay tuned to the channel so you can see that when it comes live, but you will have more than enough time to get your list together. All right, so back into this, but let's go ahead and get into the Mimi G patterns, simply because I am going from fall 2014 to fall 2024. Now, these are all Mimi G patterns that came out either in pre-fall and fall. Now for me, I'm gonna tell you which ones I find that I'm going to be sewing up and which ones are collecting dust in my sewing stash. All right, so let's go ahead and get started in 2014, and I'll tell you which season these patterns came out. So the first two are from fall 2014. First one is, all of these are simplicity, so I'm just gonna tell the number. And of course, I'll put all of these patterns up on the screen so you're able to see it. First one is 1276. And some of these, if you haven't been sewing for a very long time, you probably have not seen these. You probably skipped this one simply because you don't know anything about it because it's out of print, all right? It's over 10 years old. But this one is 1276. Now, when this pattern came out, this is her first one, so I was dying to get my hands on this one. This one is definitely, I still want to sew this one. Now, because I don't sew with a lot of knits, I actually attempted to sew this very early on in my career, sewing journey or sewing career, whatever you want to call it. And I actually did this view right here, which is view B. It came out nice and amazing. However, I forgot to do the lining or the power mesh, and it was see-through. So I scrapped it, and I have not attempted to sew it again. Now, I picked up this pattern like 2 more times. I picked it up in a smaller size as well as the 16 through 24. So yeah, I have it in both sizes, and yeah, this one is definitely a sew it. Let me know in the comment section below which ones you plan on sewing, which one you plan on skipping. Just make a list while I go through these patterns. And then at the very end, let me know if you're gonna sew it or skip it. All right, moving over to the next pattern is 1283. This one right here, one of my favorites. Now, I have done 2 views on this pattern. I have done the pants, which is view C. I did it in a red ponte back in 2019, before I even jumped on YouTube. If I could find a picture of any of these makes, I would definitely put it up on the screen so you're able to see the actual finished garment, okay? And then I also did view D, which is the, I I guess you could call it a cardigan jacket. Yeah, this is an unlined jacket. So I did that as well, and I did it unlined, so I was able to do view C and view D. I have always wanted to do view A and view B, which is the top and the skirt. That's what I plan on doing. I have some knit in my stash that I can do that with as well. So this is definitely a sew. Yep, sew it. So this is gonna actually stay in my stash as well. All right, moving on over to 2015. All right, so this is a pre-fall pattern, the only one in pre-fall. This one is 1016. Boom. All right, I have some fabric for this in my stash. I am wanting to do view A, this one right here in the center. Now, this one came out a very long time ago. I have not really seen anyone do this pattern, but I am a sucker for a good blazer. And I think this one would be really, really good in like a brocade. I think this one would be good in like a gabardine, just kind of like a men's suiting fabric. It would be good in that, and that's what I plan on doing. But once again, this is 1066. Love this pattern. Can't wait to make it. All right. Next up, fall 2015. And there's two patterns. First one is 1016. Boom. Now, I have fabric for this one. This is going to be a sew it. I have fabric for this one in my stash. So the fabric that I want to use is a purple. It is like a lavender color. And it is a Milton type. It's like a lightweight Milton that I purchased from fabric.com many moons ago. Because if you don't know, fabric.com closed in, I want to say 2019 or 2020, maybe 2021. But it's been a while ago since fabric.com closed and went to Amazon. I think Amazon.com took over fabric.com. So I picked it up from fabric.com before they closed. It's a lightweight Milton in the color like a lavender. It's like a light purple. And from Joann's, I picked up like a, I don't know, I can't remember if it's a silky fabric, but it's a silky fabric. I can't remember if it's charmeuse or if it's just like a printed, but it's a polka dot that have like this lavender background, but some black and white polka dot. I don't have it right in front of me. It's out in my bins outside, but that's what I plan on doing. I think it would be so nice in a lavender color. Even though I'm not a girl who always wear purple a lot, but I think purple looked good on me. I made a purple top in a new look pattern, and it was very nice, and I wear it quite often. And every time I wear purple, I get a lot of compliments. So I think purple would look good in this pattern. Once again, this is 1016. And our good auntie Anita made it in a pink fabric a long time ago. So this is definitely a sew it. But it's 1016. Let's move over to the next one, which you guys probably have not seen this pattern if you have not been around for a long time or have been following Mimi for a long time. It's 1019. Yeah. This one right here. This is a sew it. And the view that I like is, of course, view B. I like that. And I have two different fabrics for it. I have this striped fabric that I picked up from, it was either Michael Levine when I went to the Mimi G conference back in 2016. And then I also have this, I think it's like I guess they call it like a plum berry, which is like the same color that Mimi is wearing right here. I also have that color in my stash as well. However, I don't think I have enough fabric to do the entire ensemble right here in the middle, which is view A and view C. I think I only have enough to do view C, the tunic. So we will see either way, but this is definitely a sew it. That pattern number is 1019. Moving over to the next one, we are now in pre-fall 2016. And it's two patterns. The first one is 8174. Now, this one I have made, okay? And what I made was the moto jacket, right? Now, the thing with this one is the moto jacket is some work. And I made it all the way through, but there's one problem. The damn thing was too small. Put in all that work just for it to be too tight on the bust. No one told your girl to size the damn thing up by 2 inches. Oh, I know now, all right? But I did this pattern when it first came out, and to be honest with you, I think I went by the finished garment measurement, and I forgot that you need to go by your finished garment measurement plus some ease. I left out the ease, and that damn thing was too dang tight. The bust was so freaking flat, I couldn't breathe. It was like, yeah, it was not cute at all, okay? So trash it went. And I made that in it was a corduroy, by the way, and it was gray. I don't even have pictures of the thing anymore, so I have to make it again. And I have a pink corduroy in my stash as well as a green corduroy. Y'all remember when Joann's was around and I said pick up this corduroy? Y'all know I picked it up. So I have a pink corduroy and a green corduroy in my stash. I might make that happen with this pattern in that pink. So we will see, but this is definitely a sew. So far, these patterns are sew it instead of skip it. So we on a good trend right now. Come on, Mimi. All right, next one, 8177. Now, y'all know I have sewn this pattern so many times. I actually have videos about this pattern. Now, listen, the pants are amazing. If you have not sewn the pants, I have sewn the pants 4 times since this pattern released in 2016. So the first time I sewed the pants, I did it for Wakanda Forever, I believe. I think it was the first one or the second one. I can't remember. I'll put that video up on the screen so you can see that video. And I cried simply because the pants were too tight in the hips. And I sucked it in because I made them, and I was too scared to bend over at the movie theater. If you missed that video, go to that video so you can see all the funny behind the scenes stuff that I said in that video. And then I also made the duster. I made the duster like 5 times. I made it in like this white Ankara print. I made it in the blue to go see Wakanda Forever. I made it for a friend in a yellow fabric. I have made it in a solid. I have made this thing like 5 times, you guys. I love this complete ensemble pattern. It is, I'm gonna say this is easy to sew. I mean, I love it. I love it. This is definitely sew it instead of skip it. So once again, this is 8177. Of course, when I messed up on, not messed up, but when it was too small for the pants, I also did a video to redeem myself. When I collaborated with Shatoka, I believe it was like for Black History Month the following year. And I think it was actually last year, as a matter of fact, in 2024 for Black History Month. And I redeemed myself. No, I think, I can't remember if it was Shatoka or So Joey, but I collaborated with them during Black History Month, and I redeemed myself and made it again. And that was fantastic. And I wear these pants all the time. Did I mention all the time? Yes, both pairs, because I lost weight. So I wear both pants all the time. All right, so this is the sew it. Let's move over to fall 2016. 2 patterns. I'm going to say 3 patterns for this one, but 1 pattern you could get in the plus size as well. So the first pattern, I have made this pattern, and I have a video about this pattern. First one is 8221, and it's this one right here. And I think the one that I did was view A, but there's really no different other than a length variation. I think is the only difference. I don't know what the difference between the two. I just think it's like a length variation. They look pretty much the same for view A and view B. I just think it's a length variation for this one. But other than that, I did this one in a blue, like a teal blue plaid. The plaid is from Joann from their platitude section. And I made it in the fall of, I want to say 2023. I'll put the video up on the screen so you're able to see it. Anything that I have mentioned videos to, the video link will be in the description box below. Open it up so you're able to see that. But yeah, this was one of the ones. This is definitely a sew it. All right, next one, 8222. I have made this pattern. I made it in a leopard print. I made this when it first came out in like 2016, 2017. Of course, I had children and stuff. So yeah, tossed it. No, yeah. I gained weight, lost weight, gained weight again. And yeah, I tossed it. So I feel like I need to make another pair. And that's what I plan on doing. So this is definitely a sew it. If you cannot get your hands on 8222, you can get the plus size pattern that goes from 14 to 22, and that is 8516. It is the same pattern. It's just you have to get it in this one. Now, this one only comes in 14 to 22. You cannot get the smaller size. So this one is the smaller size, size 6 to 14, and this one is the larger size, size 14 to 22. Same pattern though. But this is both a sew it. All right, moving over to the pre-fall 2017, and in that one, two patterns. So the first one is 8426, and it's this one right here. I'm gonna be honest, this one has been sitting in my stash collecting dust. Now, I like this one, but honestly, I do not sew a lot of jumpsuits. Okay, now I think I would still keep this pattern for right now and decide by next year if I want to part ways with this pattern or still hold on to this pattern. Now, I do like the fact that Mimi G has different fabrics for View B. That is the real reason why I picked this pattern up when it first came out. The only thing that probably have kept me from making this pattern is because it's a jumpsuit, the zipper is in the back, and to be honest with you, I don't want to fight with a zipper when I have to go use the bathroom. That's it. So, other than that, I actually like the pattern, okay? So, that's the first pattern. 8426. Next up, 8427, which this is the first one that Norris was on when he was doing, you know, simplicity patterns too. I'm gonna be honest. I picked this pattern up because Norris was on it for support, right? But this one is living in my stash collecting dust. I like the pattern, but it's just a simple button-down shirt, to be honest with you. But I could definitely see myself hacking this pattern. It is very hackable. And I could see this as use it as a basic model and just hack it. I could hack it into a shirt dress, add some tabs on it, add some, you know, a flap on it, add another pocket at the bust. I could see this as being a basic button-down shirt pattern and then just hack it. So I may and may not decide to part ways with it, but as of right now, I'm on the fence on if I want to sew it or skip it. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. But let's move over to the next patterns. All right, next up, fall 2017. First one, 8451. Now listen, y'all, I pretty much have the same exact fabric for this one. I have this one in a purple, well, I would say upstairs, but it's not upstairs anymore. It is out in my garage. And I think I have like 8 yards of this particular fabric that I want to use for this one. This is definitely a sew it. I like the dress. I like the coat. I know before you say like, Rochelle, you stay in Florida, why you need a coat? We discussed that in my new look video. If you missed that video, I'll put it up here so you're able to see that new look patterns was on sale for $3.99. And yeah, y'all know what happened there. All right, so, but then anyway, this pattern is 8451. If you missed this pattern, I don't know if you can still get this pattern, but you can always check our good friends eBay, Etsy, or Amazon and see if you can pick up this pattern if you missed it. But this is definitely a sew it. Next pattern, 8466. Now this is the pattern that I collaborated with Shatoka on. So the one that I did, which was 8177, I collaborated with So Joey when we did Tia and Tamara Sister for Black History Month. This one I collaborated with Shatoka from Shatoka J. And this one we did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Ashley, and Hillary Banks. So just to clarify that, but this is 8466. I did view A, the top. So I did it in a black and white. I'll put the picture up here so you're able to see it. I did it in a black and white, and then I did a plaid for the skirt. The skirt that I did, it was a simplicity pattern. I'll put it up on the screen so you're able to see that as well. I wish I would have done the skirt. However, I have some fabric in my stash that I could, and it's denim by the way, that I could do the skirt in. The reason why I did not do the skirt when I collaborated with Shatoka is because we were supposed to create a look of our choosing from the sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So we was recreating a look. She had Hillary Banks and I had Ashley Banks, so I created a look from that sitcom. If you missed that video, I'll put it in the description box below. Put it up on the screen so you're able to see that as well. But once again, this is 8466. Let's go ahead and move over to the next patterns. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the pre-fall 2018. So she dropped 2 patterns there. And the first pattern is 8690. And 8690 pre-fall is this pattern right here. So the reason why I picked it up is that bow. Let's be real, the bow. Now, just to be honest, this pattern is living in my stash, collecting dust. I like it, but I think as I get older, I'm gravitating to other things. I don't know if I want to sew it or skip it. I can see probably making it as a top instead of a dress. I'm on the fence right now. So for right now, I think I'm going to leave this in the pile of get back to it in 2026. So this is not a sew it, but it's not a skip it either. So this, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with this pattern. 8690. Moving over to the next one is 8702. This one right here. This is that tracksuit. If you missed Mimi G's video, she made this tracksuit when she met with Gwen Stefani. It was a hit. Everyone was like, hey, how did you do that? Please do a tutorial for it. Please do that. And she was like, yo, chill you guys. I am actually dropping this for the fall. And literally she did, and here it is, right? So I have not sewn this pattern. This has been on the top of my list and moved kind of like to the middle of the list because everything else was falling to the top. This pattern came out in 2018 and I still haven't sewn this pattern. I know. But of course I have had fabric for this pattern for so freaking long. So I definitely want to sew this pattern, and this is a sew it. All right, let's move over to the fall 2018. All right, fall 2018, 2 patterns. First up is 8749, this one right here. I did this pattern in collaboration with my good friend Sarah from Sewing So Much, right? Learning So Much, I am so sorry, Learning So Much. And we did, this was a few years ago, but we did kind of like a back to school, we did a teacher's edition, right? And I did this in a yummy yellow. I'm going to put it up so you're able to see it. I did it in this yummy yellow linen fabric. A hit. I wore it to work, and oh my gosh. Somebody asked me if I was over them, and y'all know how I am. That's funny. You tried it. But no, I'm not going to sew it for you because the jacket takes a very long time. I don't care what no one says. It literally takes a long time. And to sew it for yourself and then turn around and sew it for somebody else, I would say what? I can't hear you. I am deaf in both ears. Not one ear, but say what? Yeah, no, that's not happening. But this is definitely a sew it. If you have not sewn this pattern, I'm definitely going to say sew in small bursts of time. If you missed that video when I gave you the 10 habits, that changed my life and damn well will change yours too. I'll put it up here so you're able to see it. But definitely sew in small bursts of time for this pattern, okay? But this is definitely a sew it 8749. Let's move over to the next one, 8750. Bam, bam. All right, so I picked this pattern up strictly for the pants. I haven't gotten around to doing it, but this is definitely a sew it. I like the pants. Now the top, to be honest with you, I just feel like I'm not gonna make the top, is what I'm envisioning. However, I will make the pants. So I think this one needs to stay in my sew it pal. So far, these patterns are sew it instead of skip it. Yeah, y'all. 8750. Moving over to the next pattern, we are now in early fall 2019. All right, first up, 8959. This one. So early fall 2019, I'm gonna say Mimi G went businesswoman on us, okay? And to be honest, I picked this pattern up to support. But truthfully, yes, your girl, corporate America, business wardrobe, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to be honest. This pattern is definitely sitting in my pattern stash, collecting dust. This pattern is definitely a skip it, okay? I like the vest. If I was to make this pattern truthfully and honest, I would do this one right here, which is view B and view, it says C, but yeah, I would do this one. But honestly, I think I'm gonna skip it. But to each his own. If you like this pattern, definitely pick it up. 89.59. Moving over to the next one, Norris Donta Ford. He's on the front cover. 89.62. Now, I picked this up because I love blazers. But truthfully, this is a tailored blazer. The number of pattern pieces is probably what's throwing me off. 24 pattern pieces to do this. I'm on the fence on this pattern. But I'm going to say that this is definitely sitting in my stash collecting dust. I'll probably skip this pattern. It's not bad pattern, but I don't know. I picked this pattern up definitely to support, and it's probably because I am a Mimi G fan, and every pattern I tend to pick up whether I would sew it or not for support. And you never know. It may be I'm not feeling it right now, but then later on you gravitate to it, or vice versa. You feeling it right now, but then later on it's like, oh, my style changed. I'm not feeling it anymore. So that's probably what happened, because this came out in 2019 and we're in 2025. You know what I'm saying? So, right now, it's a skip for me. 89.62. All right, moving over to fall 2019. Woohoo! All right, so first pattern, 89.94. I picked it up for the coat. Now, I'm going to be honest. I like the skirt, but I do not like the skirt with the pocket. Because I'm a girl that's very, very hippie. Not hippie in that manner. Hippie as in girl that has a lot of hips. So I wouldn't want cargo pockets on my skirt in the front, okay? I wouldn't even want cargo pockets on my skirt on the side, all right? I would leave that off and just wear a regular skirt, but definitely have the jacket as is, no warranty. But I like this pattern. It is definitely a sew it for me, all right? But once again, it's 89.95. Moving over to the next one is 89.85. This one right here. I love this pattern. The pants, fire, okay? So, looking at my note, remember the 10 habits? Yeah, okay, the 10 habits for a reason, all right? But looking at my notes, I cut a size 12 in this pattern, on this pattern. You Be the Pants, and I cut it November 14th, 2021. It's on the front of this pattern, okay? So I have a video for it. I'll put it up so you're able to see that. I made it in a linen fabric. I'll put it up so you're able to see that if you want to see a pattern review for it. I made it in a linen fabric, and I paired it with Simplicity 8513, which is a bodysuit. And I use a knit fabric for that. Brittany J. Jones had a complete sew along for 8513, the bodysuit. And then Mimi G has a complete sew along for the pants, okay? So I made it as a fall vibe style. I took photos outside my house when I first moved here to Florida. A whole complete vibe. And let me tell you guys this. I wear the bodysuit all the time, and I wear these pants all the time. It is a good fall pairing, if I do say so myself. So yes. I have not gotten around to doing the duster just yet, but it's on my list to sew, okay? And I think what I want to do, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. It would be great to use the purple linen, but I want to use the purple linen that I do have left for something else. So I don't know if I would do purple linen for this or just get a different color linen and do the whole set again. I think that's what I'm going to do. But once again, it's $89.85. Sew it. All right. Moving over to fall 2020. And this is during COVID time. So give it up for me making patterns during COVID. Man. All right. So this one is 8182. First pattern, 8182. Boom. All right. So this pattern right here is a top and a skirt. All right, a knit top and skirt. I like this pattern, to be honest. So I like the top more than I like the skirt. And it's probably because I'm not a big skirt girl. I'm more like a dress girl. If I had to pick between a dress and a skirt, I would definitely wear a dress more so than a skirt. I like the top, which is probably why I picked this pattern up. But let's be honest, this pattern is definitely living, one, rent-free, and two, it's collecting dust. So, it's on the fence for me because I do like that top, but I do have patterns that's very similar. Can I get rid of this pattern? Yes. But am I going to get rid of this pattern? No. But I'm on the fence on this pattern. It's not going to be at the top of my list for Mimi G patterns, but it will probably be towards the middle. Not close enough to the bottom just yet. All right, but once again, this is 9182. Moving over to the next one, 9186 fall 2020. Now, this pattern is a sew it. I literally have fabric in my right underneath my cabinet. It's still there, right? For this pattern, okay? I just haven't gotten around to it. I also like this orange, and I actually have a orange fabric. But I think that fabric is a fleece. It doesn't say that you can't use fleece. I might do that. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see when that time comes. But I think I might use that orange fleece that's in my stash busting, hashtag stash busting. We will see, okay? But this is 9186. It is a sew it for me. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, this is 9186. Let's go ahead and move over to patterns from 2021. Pre-fall is up first. It's 9370. Y'all killed this pattern when it came out, okay? I've seen so many of the ladies sew this pattern. It is definitely a sew it for me. I like this knit dress. I think it's cute. I think it's sexy. You can wear it dressed up, dressed down. Now, I would definitely wear it both ways. Once again, it's 9370. Moving over to the next one, 9381. So let me say this. So I was featured in the Sew magazine. I think it was it was November and December of 2024. I was featured for veterans, female vets for November 2024, and then again for the red issue in December 2024. This pattern was the pattern that I wanted to sew up for December 2024. Now, 2024 was a hard year for me for many things. I kind of shared a little bit. I'm not going to share it here. I had a terrible time with some death in my family, and because I still wanted to deliver and not just go back to Michelle from Sew Magazine and be like, hey, I can't do it. This pattern had to take a back burner because I wanted to do this entire set in a red linen fabric. Wasn't able to get that done, so this is still on my list to still do. And I want to deliver. I don't know if I want to still do it in red, but I still want to deliver it as a two-piece set sometime. I don't know if it's going to be next year. I don't know if it's going to be the year after, but it's still at the top of my list for a Mimi G pattern that I want to sew. Okay? But once again, it's $93.81. So now y'all know what I was going to originally sew for my red issue, and I had to move it and change it, and I changed it to New Look 6511. It's in the issue. There's no copies of the issue. If you have the issue, you can see my complete issue of that magazine from December 2024. I want to thank Michelle for inviting me to be part of her magazine. Once again, it's $93.81. All right, moving over to pre-fall. Oh, it is still pre-fall. So there was another pattern that came out. Norris is on it, $93.89, still 2021, pre-fall 2021. This is a trench coat. Now, I own two trench coats, one trench coat now, okay? I need more trench coats. Now, this one, Norris Dr. Ford is on it. I like a good trench coat. On the fence. On the fence. I like it. Would I sew it? I don't know. It's not a lot of pieces. It's only 17 pieces. I don't know. This is going to be a fence for me. It's not a sew it, but it's not a skip it either. It's a fence line. So, it's $93.89, by the way. All right, moving over to the next one. We are in fall 2021. And it's two patterns. First one is $94.50, this one. So this is going to be a sew it for me for two reasons. First of all, I like the top. It's a basic sweater, you know, right here. I like that. Now the skirt is just kind of like a sarong, which I have done. I have a video for sarong. The only difference is this one is knit, whereas the sarong that I did is a woven, all right? The pattern number that I use, I don't remember. I think it's Simplicity 9210 is the new number. I think when I did it, it was like Butterick 6354. I'll put the pattern up on the screen so you're able to see it. The video will be linked in the description box below, but I'll also put it up on the screen so you can see a picture of the thumbnail so you can see what video I'm talking about as well. But anyway, and at any rate, you could do a wrap skirt with this one and just wrap it around. So I like that as well. Now, with this one, I don't know if this is an easy to sew. I'm going to say it is, but of course, Mimi G has a video for it. And you have the hood too, like a hoodie. So I like this pattern. It's $94.50 and it's a sew it. All right, $94.58. So I think this one, two things about this one. I think this one is kind of like a male version of Mimi G's pattern 8702, but you could also use two separate patterns to get the same thing. I picked it up because I figured I could make it for the hub, but then at the same time I was just like, do I even sew for my husband? No. Do I even sew for my son? Not really. I'll sew like button down shirts from here for him, but I'll do it in a batch. Like I'll do 4 or 5 that last him for like a year, and then I won't sew nothing else for my son. My daughter, she doesn't really get much either. My husband, we're not going to talk about that because if you guys been on my live, every last one of you are in his corner on sewing a man a button down shirt. we are still a work in progress after a decade, okay? He's still asking for the button-down shirt in a decade. I know. I am bad. I am still working on it, okay? I'm still working on it. Okay, but this pattern is $94.58. If you sew for your husband, let me know in the comment section below. But I'm not fired yet, okay? But it's still work in progress. All right, let's move over to fall 2022. All right, 2 patterns. First one, 9636. Bam. So I think for this one, I like it, but it could possibly be a skip for me. So I like it because it's relaxed fit. You can wear it to the gym. If you are one of those work at home, or you a mom that works at home, or you a, gym body person, then you could definitely make this and, yeah, there you go. You get what I'm saying. But it's just basically hoodie and leggings, right? I know for me, I will not make leggings. And the reason why is because I just feel like I could buy them cheaper versus make them. When it comes to the hoodie, I feel like I could use the last pattern that I shared with you, 9450, view B, right, the hoodie, and make it oversized and pretty much have the same thing. So, I mean, this one may be a skip it, but we will see. This might be a skip it. All right. But once again, it's 9636. I know Aronica B. Cole is on the plus side. I think that pattern is 9637. I'll put it up on the screen so you're able to see that as well. Put them side by side. All right. But let's move over to the next one, which is 9638. And this one, it's going to be a fence line. And the reason why is because the jacket reminds me of the modal jacket that I did, which I shared with you already, which is 8174. And then the skirt, it reminds me of a skirt that I did that's a simplicity pattern. I can't remember the number of the skirt. So, I mean, I like the pattern. I would definitely have to extend the modal jacket a little bit down. But this is a fence line pattern. So I'm not like gonna put it at the top of the list to be a sew it, but it's not at the bottom of the list either as a skip it. So fence line pattern. Once again, it's 9638. Now we're into one pattern that she released winter 2022. But this could have been a late fall. And the reason why I say that is because Mimi G normally do not release patterns in the winter time. So this is the only one that I have ever seen Mimi release in the winter, but it's 9687. This one is fire. I love this pattern. And it's 9687. I have not gotten around to it, y'all. This is definitely a sew it. Now, let's be real. I do love joggers. Now, the joggers remind me of her pattern 9268. And I don't know why I have not shared that pattern with you guys. It's 9268 and it should have been fall. Oh, that's because it's like a spring pattern. 9268 was that pattern. So that's what the pants remind me of. Like, I like to call them the genie pants. I made that pattern a while ago. Yeah, when I did the 5 and below. Okay, so I made that pattern then. And I'll put it up on the screen so you're able to see it. And the jacket reminds me of... It reminds me of the costume pattern that I did. Simplicity 9354. If my good brain serves me well, I'll put it up there. You guys have asked me to do a sew along for that pattern. The only thing about that pattern is I don't think everyone could get that pattern for a sew along. So that's why I've been a little hesitant about grabbing that pattern to do a sew along, because that pattern is kind of out of print. So that's why I have not been in a hurry to do that pattern. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I would want to do a sew along for a pattern that's out of print. So that's why I have not filmed a sew along for that pattern, which is the hooded jacket. It's a costume pattern. I believe that pattern number is Simplicity 9354. I'll put it up on the screen so you're able to see it. All right, but let's go ahead and move over to fall 2023. So fall 2023, 2 patterns. First one is 9822. Now this one reminds me of Simplicity 8060 that she released a while ago. Okay, I did a video for that. I'll put it up on the screen so you're able to see that. I did Simplicity 8060, her jumpsuit from a while ago. I did that video as part of Sew Purple to NALZ, which was hosted by Michelle from Michelle Sews Again. I haven't seen her in a while, in a minute. But this was fall 2023, and to be honest, this pattern has so many pieces, so that's why I haven't gotten around to it. This is going to be one of those you gotta have patience patterns, right? Nothing that I'm gonna sew in a couple of days. I think for this pattern, it's going to be a week-long process. And the reason why is because, like I said, in my 10 habits that changed my life, and damn well could change yours too, sew in small bursts of time. That is what keeps my sewing fun. Anything where I'm going to literally, I'm not trying to sew in a marathon. I'm not going to do it. However, I will sew in small bursts of time to get things done. And my focus is more so enjoying the process and make progress instead of trying to beat the clock. I got some beat the clock, but we're not trying to beat the clock here. We're just basically sewing for the joy of sewing instead of punching a time clock. That's not fun. When you go to work, yeah, it's fun to get paid, but yeah, you get my drift. All right, but this pattern is 9822. Moving over to the next pattern, 9824. This is definitely a sew it. A sew it. Just like Sew It Academy. Sew it, all right? But anyway, I think I would want to do this pattern in a wool. Now it's too hot here for wool, so I'll probably change that to a corduroy or a twill or a tweed. Yeah, tweeds is on here, so that's probably what I would do. Don't know what color. I would have to look at it in my stash because I have some twill and some tweed in my stash, but I know I'm not going to do it in white, and I have a white twill. 9824 is this pattern number. All right, so those are all the paper patterns that I have. In 2024, I went ahead and started moving over to PDF patterns. So for fall 2024, I'm going to put up on the screen because I have them in PDF. So it's 2 patterns. That's when they decided to switch over to the 3000 series. And the first pattern is only 2. First one is 3010. Now this pattern was a 3-piece set. You had the cardigan, like a tank, and then a skirt. So with this pattern, I know my girl C from We See Style, she did this 3-piece set. Look gorgeous in that knit green. Now for me, I don't have any fabric in my stash, I don't think, at least, but I definitely want to sew it. I think it would be great to do fall like in a plum. I could see it in like a yellow mustard color. I could definitely see doing it in like a red. I could see lots of different fall colors to do this in. Yeah, definitely to sew it. All right, moving over to the next one is 3011. This is the last one. It's 3011. It is a jumpsuit. And this one is definitely a sew it. Simply because, now listen, now I know I said I am not one who typically sews jumpsuit, But here's the thing, and hear me out. The zipper is in the front, not the back. I can zip myself up and down. I'm cool with that. When a zipper is in the back, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. Do you think I want a lady to come in the bathroom and be like, excuse me, would you unzip me? Now, if I could go in the stall and unzip myself, even though I'm still kind of weird out to unzip myself and everything up here is cold and I'm pulling everything down, I'm a little weirded out. I'm not going to lie. But I will say 3011 definitely on the list for sewing. All right. Well, you guys, those are all 34 patterns that made it to trial. Some decided to have a verdict of sew it, and then others was guilty and have to pay that bill of being skipped. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you found this video to be educational, inspiring, and fun, you guys know what to do. Give your girl a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Comment in the comment section below and let me know which ones are you planning on sewing and which ones are on the fence. Are you or are you skipping it? All right. And stay tuned for my upcoming video, as I'm going to be sharing with you the patterns that I solidified for my fall winter course capsule before we start batch cutting and start sewing. I can't wait to share that with you guys. All right. Well, until next time, keep sewing, keep glowing, and definitely keep growing. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.